In a loose moment, many people say stupid things, but I cannot imagine that the story that has now been declaimed by Piers Morgan across the media, that King Charles and Kate Middleton are the two so-called racists involved in the Archie affair, I cannot imagine that this story emerged from the Buckingham Palace or from the mouth of the Princess of Wales. So presumably, it's a concoction of Omid Scobies, sorry, and whether that goes back to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and I suspect that's questionable as well, because Scobie has made up other things as well in the book. Piers Morgan pointed out quite interestingly that he's made up conversations that Piers apparently had with the Queen, with Camilla. He says absolutely that he didn't. So if there's one lie in there, then there's probably more than one lie in there. I don't think we should be dumbing down and pretending that these words are not there, because they're perfectly available the moment you get out of the UK. And the rather coy way in which some of the newspapers are now reciting Piers Morgan's statement and then omitting the actual names is absurd, because they're available on the internet and have been for some time. The job that we should be doing is making it clear that the king is not a racist, and that the future queen is not a racist. As Prince William said, this is not a racist family. And the king particularly has not only reached out to communities across the UK, diverse communities across the UK, but he's reached out internationally as well. And this is demonstrated even in the coronation itself, with the diversity of faiths and cultures represented within the coronation ceremony itself and the congregation. The allegation is absurd, but covering it up and hiding the names does not help to challenge the absurdity of Scobie, and I'm quite sure that this was written without permission. And yes, these names may have been floating around in the ether for some time, but how did they get into that book? Presumably because there was a draft by Scobie, which outed these names. A translator doesn't insert stuff unless he's or she's following a particular draft, and maybe they got an early draft before the names were excised under legal guidance. Scobie's stupidity, I thoroughly expect, and I suppose that will be exposed for the nonsense that it is. It is time for Prince Harry to be brought into the fold, to be brought back, and it's time for Harry and Meghan to sort things out with the royal family, because we can't afford this sort of nonsense cluttering up the gutter press, cluttering up the gutter, because there are more important things to be discussing. There are more important issues, and the tittle-tattle that does damage should be stopped.